Welcome to Trial Site News Weekly Roundup. My name is Adrian, and I'll be going over some of our top news stories from this past week. Please click the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of future videos. This week we start our roundup with viral-related news. The first clinical trials in the United States of an experimental treatment for the new coronavirus was initiated by the University of Nebraska Medical Center. An American who was brought to UNMC campus after one of many evaluated from the Diamond Princess cruise ship off the coast of Japan has volunteered as the first to participate in the study. Now, this participant is one of 15 individuals from the ship presently under quarantine at UNMC, 13 in the National Quarantine Unit and 2 in a separate Nebraska Biocontainment Unit. UNMC and Nebraska Medicine have partnered to launch the trial due to their experiences in biopreparedness and the researchers' participation with infectious diseases research, not to mention the campus Biocontainment Unit. Kansas State University licensed a technology that may lead to the production of an antiviral drug to treat coronavirus and noroviruses. 2 virologists from the University College of Veterinary Medicine, as well as a medical chemist from Wichita State University, have worked on the virus for more than 1 decade, beginning research in 2009. Gilead announced that the U.S. FDA has rapidly reviewed and accepted Gilead's investigational new drug, or IND, filing for Remdesivir for the treatment of COVID-19. Gilead has now initiated 2 phase 3 clinical studies to evaluate the safety and efficacy for Remdesivir in adults diagnosed with COVID-19. Now, these randomized, open-label, multi-center studies will enroll approximately 1,000 patients at medical centers primarily across Asian countries, as well as other countries globally with high numbers of diagnosed cases beginning in March. The studies will assess 2 closing durations of Remdesivir administered intravenously. And now we turn to clinical trial-related news. The Fast Track program facilitates the development and accelerates the review of new drugs for serious conditions which have the potential to address unmet medical needs. A product that receives Fast Track designation is eligible for more frequent interactions with FDA, potential eligibility for accelerated approval, priority review, and rolling biologics license application, or BLA, review. An international Phase 2 and 3 trial, ADVANCE, is currently underway. The open-label, single-arm, multi-center study of Lysogene 302 for the treatment of MPS IIIA is designed to include 20 patients with the severe classical form of MPS IIIA. Currently, a total of 17 patients have been treated out of the total of 20. The primary objective is to assess the drug efficacy in improving the neurodevelopmental status of patients after 24 months compared to the expected evolution based on natural history data. The primary objective is to assess the drug efficacy in improving the neurodevelopmental status of patients after 24 months compared to the expected evolution based on natural history data, like safety, tolerability, effect on behavior, sleep, and quality of life will also be collected as secondary endpoints. Now, Lysogene 302 has previously received orphan drug designations for the treatment of MPS IIIA in the European Union in 2014 and in the U.S. in 2015, as well as rare pediatric disease designation in the U.S. Baudax Bio announced the U.S. FDA has approved the new drug application for Anjeso, meloxicam injection, which is indicated for the management of moderate to severe pain alone or in combination with other non-NSAID analgesics. Anjeso is the only available 24-hour intravenous COX-2 preferential non-steroidal anti-inflammatory and offers once-daily dosing. Anjeso is expected to be available in late April or early May of 2020. Allecra Therapeutics announced positive top-line results from the Phase 3 ALLIUM trial evaluating Exblifep in patients with complicated urinary tract infections, or CUTI. including acute pyelonephritis. The trial met the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and European Medicines Agency pre-specified primary endpoint, demonstrating superiority over piperacillin tazobactam. Elsewhere, Genprex, a biotech based in Austin, Texas, just raised $25.5 million through 2 stock offerings. The company sold 7.62 million shares of common stock on January 28th, raising $8 million. And just last week, they closed the sale of another 5 million shares of common stock, totaling an additional $17.5 million. Previously known as Convergen Life Sciences, they went public in IPO. Alliance Global Partners led the placement while Joseph Gunnar and Company served as a co-placement agent for both deals. And now we turn to cancer-related news. Noxopharm announced the US FDA has approved the investigational new drug application for Veyonda for combination treatment with doxorubicin in patients with soft tissue sarcomas. Now, Veyonda is a suppository dosage form of the small molecule idronixil, a first-in-class inhibitor of sphingosine 1-phosphate, or S1P. By inhibiting the overexpression of S1P-driven pro-survival pathways in solid tumors, idronixil is designed to sensitize cancer cells to the anti-cancer effects of drugs such as doxorubicin, as well as to radiation. Harbour BioMed announced the U.S. Food and Drug Administration granted approval of its investigational new drug application for a Phase 2 clinical trial of HBM 9167. Its humanized LGG1 monoclonal antibody targeting program death ligand 1, or PDL1, for the treatment of nasopharyngeal cancer, or NPC. Now, in addition, the FDA granted Orphan drug designation to HBM 9167 for the use in treating NPC. HBM 9167 has been evaluated by Harbour BioMed's partner Gilead Biotech in China in studies involving more than 300 subjects to date. Now, these trials include Phase 1 and ongoing Phase 2 trials in multiple cancer types, including NPC and classical Hodgkin's lymphoma. Now, preliminary results from these ongoing trials have shown a tolerable safety profile in patients. Elsewhere, Cancer Research UK's entrepreneurial programs initiative includes a new partner, life sciences and healthcare business accelerator start Codon, now has teamed up to help promote the development of new business ventures within academia. The Cambridge, UK cluster will be the first target for a series of educational programs helping multidisciplinary oncology research communities embrace entrepreneurship, company formation, operations, and fundraising, all to help catalyze a more dynamic startup ecosystem. Gilead Sciences, or GILD, will buy cancer-focused player 47 FTSE for $4.9 billion. The biotech company said Monday, sending FTSV stock rocketing. The deal was rumored last week and allows Gilead to harness 47's cancer drug magrolimab. And magrolimab belongs to a class of immuno-oncology drugs which help the immune system find and fight cancer cells. And now we turn to neurologic-related news. Non-O1 Inc. announced results from the pivotal Phase 3 ESCAPE-NA1 trial of intravenous neurentide in patients with acute ischemic stroke who were chosen to undergo endovascular thrombectomy. Now, the drug, without previous administration of alteplase, provided medically important improvements in the patients. The results were simultaneously presented at the International Stroke Conference in Los Angeles and published in The Lancet. And now we turn to clinical challenges-related news. Clinical trials assessing of treatments of depression increasingly can capitalize on high-accessible smartphone applications to support and facilitate engagement and seamless trial data capture. However, there is one problem. Increasing dropout rates evidence low engagement and considerable attrition rates, which raise the question, why aren't these apps working as contemplated? Now, elsewhere, the Department of Justice, or the DOJ, recently announced that it reached a $5.5 million settlement with a biomedical research institute that received NIH grant funding. the Van Andel Research Institute, or VERI, to resolve allegations that it violated the False Claims Act, or the FCA, by failing to disclose Chinese government grants that funded 2 researchers. The DOJ also recently charged a Harvard professor and 2 Chinese nationals in cases involving the intellectual property theft or false claims. Tensions continue to build throughout major academic research centers as connections to China are scrutinized by the federal government. And now for HIV-related news. The Rockefeller University, or Rockefeller, has entered into a licensing agreement with Gilead to advance the development of investigational drugs based on broadly neutralizing antibodies discovered at the university. In recent early-stage research, 2 of the licensed compounds evidenced success suppressing the virus for months at a time in infected people and could potentially produce new approaches for preventing and treating the disease. And now for cardiovascular news. Spaulding Clinical Research, a West Bend, Wisconsin-based clinical research site and declared full-service CRO, operates a 200-bed facility while specializing in Phase 1 trials supporting the first-in-human clinical proof-of-concept cardiovascular and NDA-enabling clinical pharmacology studies. Founded in 2008, it recently initiated work that is part of a $5 million contract with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Now, they are included in TrialSite News' SiteWatch leading category. And you can go to trialsitenews.com to see this story in full. Now, heart disease and sleeping pills are one of those combinations that can come with a potential risk. Although insomnia is frequent among the healthy population, around 20% of medical patients are also struggling with it. Among medical patients, the group that struggles the most with sleep are cardiac patients. Approximately 44% of them are dealing with insomnia. Now, it appears that this relationship goes both ways, since insomnia is recognized as one of the risks for coronary and cardiovascular diseases. And now for lung-related news. University of Pittsburgh and University of Delaware researchers received funding for research covering innovative therapies targeting pulmonary fibrosis, or FB, to gene delivery to or editing hematopoietic blood, stem and progenitor cells, or HSPCs. Now, 2 clinical investigators were awarded $2,500,000 each by a collaboration involving CSL Behring and the University City Science Center. The 2 investigators include Cecilia Yates, PhD, University of Pittsburgh, and Eleftherios, PhD, University of Delaware. And now for AI-related news. Researchers at Linköping University in Sweden developed an artificial neural network that can yield patterns in vast quantities of gene expression data and discover groups of disease-related genes. The Nordic-based group seeks to apply these advanced capabilities within precision medicine and individualized patient treatment as they further study and uncover how these neural networks actually work. And now for opioid-related news. Kentucky lawmakers seek to establish a $4 million Kentucky Center for Cannabis Research at the University of Kentucky in pursuit of advancing the study of cannabis used for medical treatment. The proposed center would support UK's move to become the preeminent cannabis medical research center in the United States, conducting research that would include clinical trials, observational studies, pharmaceutical development, and comprehensive analysis of the risks, side effects, and benefits of other cannabis research. Do you have any clinical news you'd like us to report on? If so, let us know. Contact information is in the box below. Thank you for joining us for this week's TrialSite News Roundup. And remember, subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of updates. We'll see you next time.